Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. Some of you will be happy to know I've moved on a little bit from Christmas in July. I am going to be making the most beautiful jesmonite AC100 set using these stunning molds from Molds and Shapes. Now the details for Molds and Shapes will be in the description box below, but if you followed a video a few weeks back, Molds and Shapes sent me a whopping new bundle of molds and I showed you them all in a video, and these are stunning. These are specifically for eco pouring mediums. They are all matte in design. Now of course you can use them with epoxy resin, but your resin will come out matte, but they are perfect for your ecos. I'm going to be making this bubble tray mold, the bubble coasters. I'm also going to be making the tea light holders, which are silky. No, that's not the word. They are gloss finish, so predominantly you can use them with resin as well, and you'll get a shiny resin. But also I'm going to be making a little trivet. So it is a whole set together, and I've been itching to do this for ages. I am going to be using jesmonite AC100. Now you can do this with any other eco pour, but for me, I just find jesmonite AC100 is nice and thick, so when it comes to doing the design, it's easier to use. The water mediums are a little bit more runny, and I'm not actually sure how they work with this design. Let me know if you've used water-based eco pouring mediums and you've used them for the splash and flick design. Let me know in the comment section down below how they turn out, because quite frankly guys, I've never tried. Now again, I want all of these to be very, very similar. I'm just mixing up a teeny tiny, although too much, a teeny tiny amount of jesmonite. We're going for the splash it all on technique, and I want a cohesive design for all of these pieces. Now I'm using the tray, the coasters, the trivet and the candle holders, and honestly I just think this would be perfect for a new home gift. If you know anyone who is moving house soon, and you can make them an entire set for their new home, making sure that the colours are the colours that they like. Equally, wedding season is upon us, and I just thought something like this would be the most beautiful, handmade, in a gorgeous gift box, the most beautiful gift for that couple that you know who are getting married as well. Now I was really going for finer detail on this one. I didn't want really big splodges. Sometimes when I've done these kind of splash it all on techniques, you end up with big dollops and splodges. That's not what I was going for. I was going for much finer detail and finer lines. Unfortunately, I did get two big splodges on the tray on the right, and we're okay with it. We're just gonna roll with it, and whatever happens, happens. Next up, I'm using a technique I've never used with jesmonite AC100 or any other eco pouring medium. I have used this with acrylic paint when it comes to resin art and creating stars and that kind of beautiful fine detail. Guys, firstly, wear gloves. We're using a toothbrush. Wear gloves, okay? Hindsight is a wonderful thing. Trigger warning. We're just going to imagine that this is chocolate all over my hands. Now, wearing gloves is just going to save your hands from getting absolutely crazy messy. But I don't mind the mess. jesmonite AC100 and all of the eco pouring mediums washes off the skin real perfect. But again, they do all suggest wearing gloves. It's just that this method with the toothbrush, we are simply running our fingers along the bristles of the toothbrush. Now, really and truly, you can't see it very well until I get close up. I am going to show you a close up of the effect that this gives. It's like a speckled egg effect. If anyone has ever got like the Cadbury's mini eggs around Easter time, they're all just speckled with this stunning fine speckle detail, almost like speckled dust. It would almost as well be a bit like terrazzo. So if you've created some terrazzo and then you kind of like sieve out all the big chunks and you're just left with that fine dust of the terrazzo, that is what this effect gives. And again, I've said it before, hindsight is a wonderful thing. I feel like I would have just liked to have done this instead of the splashes as well. I think something like this would be beautiful on its own. So here is a close-up of that fine speckled detail that the toothbrush gives. And you could see the state of my hands there. And of course, it's an unfortunate colour to have all over your hands. So just sorry if you were upset by it, but wear gloves, wear gloves, wear gloves. But I'm obsessed. Look at this fine, kind of dusty, speckled result. It is honestly screaming Cadbury's mini eggs. If you've had them, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I definitely want to try this again, just using the toothbrush flicking technique, honestly, because I kind of love it more than the splashes and the splodges. Now, 400 liquid, 1000 grams powder in the Jesmonite AC100 is what I mixed up here. I did it all off screen just because I didn't want to move these molds at all. I didn't want to move my camera. I just went ahead, measured it out, weighed it out, and mixed it off screen. It was a lot of mixture. I figured we've got a lot to fill, so I will make quite a big, hefty batch. Now, here's the thing. Whenever you do these speckles and these splodges, I did walk away. I left them all to fully cure on the mold for 30 to 40 minutes before coming back and filling. If you don't do that, you will risk kind of moving the splodges and the splashes, and you won't get a nice crisp result. They have to be dry before you fill the bags. The other thing to mention is that whenever you do splashes and splodges and you let them dry, and then you go in and you fill, Jesmonite AC100 is a really thick consistency. It's a really, really thick eco-pouring medium. And as I've used so many now that I would say that Jesmonite AC100 is the thickest one. And what that means is it's not a massive fan of getting in and around all of the finer details of those splashes and splodges. So you do run the risk of seeing micro air pockets, like really minuscule micro air pockets. At this point, I feel like it's inevitable, but it is one of those things that you do run the risk of. If you're using a water-based eco-pouring medium, it's a lot more fluid. A lot of them do pour like water. They're super watery at the point of pouring, and they're more likely to fill in those gaps in and around the cured, splashed edges. Am I making sense? I hope I'm making sense. Now, that massive whopping concoction that I mixed up, the 400 grams liquid to 1000 powder, wasn't enough for all of it. So I did go ahead off screen and I mixed up another batch. I used 100 liquid, 250 powder, and it was spot on enough for that final round mold. Again, all of these molds are from Molds and Shapes, so details are below for your 10% discount. Now, I am shaking the life out of these, but I'm doing it very gently. I'm making sure that these molds do not leave the surface of my table. So I'm literally shimmying the paper underneath back and forth, left, right, up, down, forwards, backwards, left, right. I'm not allowing the molds to lift. If the molds lift, that is going to dislodge the cured Jesmonite splashes and splodges, and we do not want that. Has anyone here used a dental vibration plate? I did get a message recently asking if I've used it or if I've done a video on it. I haven't got one. I really want one. So many have recommended it. Have you guys used it? Should I get one? If so, which one should I get? Because I think a project like this would be perfect. The results are exactly what I wanted the results to be. That fine speckled detail is unreal. Right up my street. These colours are me. They are me all over. I'm not going to say the A word, the autumn. They're very autumnal. But that wasn't the plan here. This wasn't a plan to do an autumnal video. It was very much a neutral tones, kind of getting that cohesive look across a few pieces that could all work together as one massive set for your home. And of course, there are so many other molds to choose from Molds and Shapes as well. So you could just make a whole array of pieces. But look at that speckle. I cannot get over the speckle. I think I'm definitely, well, I know I'm definitely going to try this again. No splodges, no splashes, just the speckle. And also not much of the speckle. Keep it even more minimal. Let me know if you like the colorways and let me know your thoughts so far. Also, these molds, oh my gosh, guys. They are so tactile. I couldn't stop rubbing my hands over the surface of all of these beautifully raised bubble details. Like, I cannot tell you how tactile they are. Now, I did overspill on some of it, but it's standard practice with your ecos. If you overspill, if you demold after 30 minutes, you can just quickly go around the edge, just crunch off anything that has overspilled. And then before you either gift them or sell them on, make sure that you sand those edges to make sure there's no sharpness there. But it was really easy for me at this point just to break off those edges. But this speckle, it is so me. I don't know why I've never tried the toothbrush speckle effect on eco, but yes please, yes please. This is definitely my cup of tea. It's right up my street. Love, love, love it. The candle holders, of course, it was hard to get the jesmonite AC100 down in there, so the speckle design itself is really only around the bottoms of the candle holders, and I'm not that mad about it. I'm not angry about it. I quite love it. I love the fact that the tops are clearer and the bottoms are the more speckled design. But how gorgeous do these look? I'm obsessed. The mold themselves, like the candle holder mold, so easy to demold. I was worried deep down because it's a set of 2, and I was like, is that going to be easy to demold? But a piece of cake. It couldn't have been any easier. They simply just came out. Nothing to worry about there. On they go to my cake drying rack. Now, because they are chunky, they're chunky beasts, especially that round trivet. This one here is going to be for your teapot. The coasters will be for your cup of tea, and the tray can just be a gorgeous tray in the center of your coffee table with a little candle lit. Like, it all works together as the most perfect gift bundle idea. But yeah, the trivet is a chunky one. So before I seal these, I'm actually going to leave them for 48 hours to fully dry out and fully cure before I seal, just because of that trivet. That is a chunky beast. But look at this profile. Like, everything about these I love. I love, love, love. I love that they all look alike. I love that because you've laid them all out on the surface of your working desk, you make sure that they've all got exactly the same colours going into them. So you don't have to come back next day and try to match the colours. Make them all at once, all together. Who would not love something like this as a gift for a new home, or a gift for a wedding, or any occasion as a gift? Like, obviously you don't have to do the speckles. You don't have to do the splashes and splodges. You don't have to use these colours. You can do anything you want, even if you don't use any colour at all. The jesmonite gives a beautiful natural cream shade. It's definitely not white. It's not as white as other eco pouring mediums, especially the ones that just add water. They're very, very white. Jesmonite is not white at all. It is 100% like a natural Hessian kind of cotton colour. But I absolutely love this mould. This mould with the raised bubble edges. I'm obsessed, guys. Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, it's just been a nice change to just sit and chill and just create some splashes and splodges. If you've been with me a while, you'll know it's my favourite thing to do. Just throw stuff at stuff and pour stuff in, and you've got some beautiful stuff, guys. I've loved it. I love the molds too. I hope you feel inspired. If you know anyone getting married in the next few months, or anyone moving house and would like a brand new entire matching set, of course I would then go on and try, if I could, to match some colours and make another 2 coasters, because you've got to have a set of 4 coasters. Do you know what I mean? You can't just have 2. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.